Hello and welcome to a first look at Hadean Tactics. First question, no, this game is not related to Hades. Second question, that's the first question. Hope you're doing well. Let's get to it, shall we? This game is a deck builder auto battler mix. While I'm pulling up the info real quick. I really should have this open, but it's too late now. Yeah, it's by a developer named Emberfish Games, self-published. In this video, they did not send me anything to play this game. I just saw it and went, oh, that looks cool. So here I am. Full released into 1.0 on August 24th, so probably about a week ago, depending on when you're seeing this. And yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say. It's a roguelike auto-battler card game. It's strange, and my biggest criticism of this game is that it's really bad at teaching you the game. I think I had this criticism of Wild Frost as well when we began with it. This game, it might be me. Maybe I missed things as well, but I had to be taught a lot of mechanics by Twitch chat. This video would be a lot different if I did not stream this game last night, because I learned so much information that just made me go, what? You can do that? From talking to chat. But last bit of information, this game is $13 right now. It is 35% off through September 4th, at which point it'll go up to $20. And I'll show you the options menu real quick. Nothing too crazy. I've already tweaked it a little bit here and there. You can change health bar colors. If you know how to translate things, you can go help them translate in the Discord. I think there's a link to that somewhere in the game. Yeah, here it is, join Discord. Display damage text, and most importantly, option to turn off screen shake. God bless. Video options, fine. Nothing to really care about, I feel like, here. Sound options, you know. We can do better than a slider, but I won't... This options menu is like a 2 out of 10, but that's okay. I don't hate it, because at the end of the day, I only ever look at the options menu once, but one day I'm going to play a game and I'm going to get a slider with a plus and a minus and an editable box that shows me the number, and I'm gonna freak. I'm gonna go, oh baby, this is the one. One day I'm gonna see the perfect audio menu. But I do always appreciate the option to toggle on or off mute when in background. Sometimes games have this as just a always on or always off. But let's get to it, shall we? So we'll fire up a new run. I've played a run so far. And I've played 2 runs. I played one that I quit, and then I played one on stream last night. I played as the Inquisitor, so I'm going to play as this guy. The game does have an ascension system. It's called Corruption in this game. It is 20 levels from what I've been told. And then there's a bunch of these wings, which I think... yeah, you get to go further. I assume this is just like unlocking a true final boss, if I were to guess, but then you also get mastery, which is experience points with the character for playing them. So I have none with the Nightshade, and I have level 2 5300 with the Inquisitor, and then there's new unlocks at level 4 and 8, it looks like. Some other stuff of note here, by the way, is that there's a weekly hero event, and there's a like a create your own cards and heroes section, which is kind of interesting. I wish I had this so I could talk about it more, but I don't have it yet. I don't really want to put in like 10 to 15 hours ahead of the first look, you know, but this is kind of cool as well and sounds interesting. But let's begin, shall we? You'll get a feel for it pretty quickly, and I will show off all of the things that if you do want to play this game, you should know. Oh, this is a whale bonus. Cool. What do we got? Transform and upgrade 2 cards in your deck, gain 3 random runes, hero gains 350 max health. I'll take... So runes are potions, which go over here. I will take transform and upgrade 2 cards. Oh, it does it randomly. Oh my god, it gave me intervention. Okay. I will explain everything when we get into combat. But to start off, we get to pick our hero's path. I think these are... Oh no, these change, because last time I had a draconic. So... If you've ever played an auto-battler, what you'll know is that in auto-battlers there are tribes, effectively, and this game has the same sort of thing. They're called alliances. Sometimes they're called origins, whatever. In this game they call them alliances. So the alliance units get a bonus of some sort. So for example, if I go Demonic 1 on my Inquisitor, he'll be on the Demonic Alliance. The first time an ally kills an enemy during the battle, that ally receives 25 damage up. Now if you'll notice, our base damage here is 17. So that's a pretty big number, but you don't kill things all that often. The Stalker Alliance, you jump across the board and attack enemies at the other end. And this also changes your stats as well. But most importantly, we want to look at the skills. So we have next attack deals 2x damage, gains 25 shield for each adjacent unit, and deals 125 damage to adjacent allies. And what is this one? Whenever an ally gains shield, they gain 10 might. The game does a pretty good job of teaching you the keywords while you're going as well. Might increases damage, shield protects you from damage. All of the words are right there. I'm going to go Inquisitor. I think that one's fine. Now, the mapping system is very, very Slay the Spire. Like, I often like to hold back from calling games for their inspirations, but this is Slay the Spire. The map generation is. Like, it's not close. It's not a question, I would say. You can change the battle speed. That's cool. I didn't know that. I'm still learning stuff. You can go look at the boss at any time. We're fighting Astaroth, who I haven't seen. This is the board, I guess. Camera options. I just want to go through everything real quick. This is our deck. We got Intervention. In my experience, Intervention is busted, so this run's probably going to go over pretty well. Money, and then there's also our team here, which we can take units out at will, and they'll heal if they're out. Alright, let's get to it. I'm going to go left path here. So at the very beginning of the game, you get to deploy your units. Right now, we just have our hero, who is this guy, Inquisitor Path, Relentless Alliance. So whenever an ally gains shield, they also gain might, and also he gains shield for each adjacent unit. The might is a flat 10 might per instance of shield. At the start of the game, or at the start of the fight, you get to reposition your units. So I can also click on the enemies to see more information, like this guy gives shields, this guy gives deal less damage and damage amp. And the game works on it's like a turn-based real-time system, basically. So I'm gonna go ahead and give my hero 75 might and this Draugr 75 might and a shield. And then I press the start phase button and we will fight for 7 seconds. I can pause at any time, so if I have energy to time out an attack, I can use it. Very importantly, if you are going to pick this game up, there's an option on the side here, automatically pause the game when there's 0.1 seconds left on the battle clock and you have a playable card in hand. I did not know about this when I started playing the game, and it is a huge difference to know about this. Especially if you have something that affects you during combat. There's also always display target line, so you can see what the enemies are attacking. You can also just hover over to see what's going on here. And yeah, I'll just cast Intervention. Intervention is a rare spell. This is the equivalent to hitting like a demon form or something like that. Well, this is basically like hitting bludgeon. As you'll see here, deal 1750 damage for 3 energy means that throughout the early and mid game, I'm just going to pick an enemy and kill them with Intervention. Like that. And that's the fight. So at the end of the fight, you'll heal a little bit, you'll get some rewards, things like that. My only real criticism of this game is that it's kind of hard to tell what the hell's going on. But I think that that's a common problem with every game of this genre, where there's just a ton of time where you have to look and learn what's going on. Apply +5 damage, apply 7 haste. So you would attack faster for 3 seconds with a... Oh, and it's an area effect. For the next one attacks, might is retained. Interesting, for free. Set the target unit shield to 0, apply 3 fracture. Fracture is weaken, or not weaken, it's vulnerable. Enemy takes more damage. I'm gonna try this Bloodshot out, that sounds cool. And we'll carry on. So yeah, this is the basics of it. I haven't really taken the time to just sit down and read what everything is and what everything does. I kind of just let it be and figure it out later. Like, I prefer... So I'm not going to be reading out every single thing to you here because, oh my god, I don't want to do that. I'm just going to kind of let it be, and you can kind of work it out yourself. Oh, the other thing you should know... sorry, I forgot one other main mechanic. If you've never played an Autobattler, the blue bar under the character's health bar is their mana bar. Mana goes up every second in this game. Usually in Autobattlers, you also gain mana for... getting hit, but I'm not sure it's like that in this game. But yeah, so our guy here has a 14 mana per second effect on him for his spell, which gives him 25 shield per adjacent unit, ally and enemy here. And then we get our little heal and we win. The early game is gonna look, you can tell Intervention is kind of just crushing here. We high rolled out of this world. 150 shield, apply taunt to all enemies. Interesting. Taunting is kind of cool. I like spiked armor a lot. Spikes are deal the damage equal to spikes and then count down by 1 every time they're attacked. I think spikes get pretty powerful. And in my experience, this game is a lot more about actually building your deck out than it is min-maxing your positioning. There's one more important mechanic for you to know here, which is that unlike every other auto battler I've ever seen, you can order your units around. So twice per combat, you can pick an action. So if I don't like what this guy's doing, I can say like, hey, go. So like right now he's gonna go hit this one. If I didn't like that, I could say, hey, go hit this one. Similarly, I could say this Draugr should go hit this one if I wanted to. And they will just do their best to path over. It's like game changing because you can do things like, oh man, they're really tearing my guy up here. How about I just order you to get the hell out of here? You know, things like that. By 4 fracture, each point amplifies damage taken. So this is going to be 40% more damage for 4 seconds. This does 245, but they have 100 shield. I guess I'll just punch right through this one, actually. And now when this guy leaves range, the enemies will retarget. So you can do stuff like that to really min-max. So far I've had not much trouble with this game, but I am on Ascension 1, and I've played games like this before, so it's to be expected. I don't know how hard it's going to be as the game scales up, but select 2 units to swap tiles, apply 15 spikes to all allies, apply 2 shield bash. Deals damage equal to its shield, probably for 2 attacks. I'd rather do, I don't know, I'm kind of down for... I like this Bloodshot idea. I guess you could maybe go Shield Bash. I'm just kind of clicking on cards, though. Let's go for spikes. Maybe we can find something cool. Red skulls are elites. This guy looks pretty scary, doesn't he? Alpha Wolf. You can turn the camera and zoom in a little bit if you like as well. No, I don't want you... Can I undo that order? That's not great. So you can double click to give the order as well, which I did on accident there. So basically what I'm going to do is wait and try to... We'll do that. It's fine. We're just gonna wait here and try to pull intervention to just one-shot the boss. My Draugr might die here, but that's okay. I did not draw intervention. So a little trick that one of the other things I was taught basically is that, we can show it off here. Because shield ticks down every second, it's best to space your shield applications out like that. Oh, he has a fear. Don't love that. Anyway, the boss is dead now, or the elite is dead now, I should say. Intervention kind of goes off. And the fear helped me out because it retargeted them off of my Draugr here. My hero's pretty shielded, so we'll just spread our shield out here. I don't care too much about min-maxing shield like that. I'm fine with it being just something that I go back and forth on at the timing where it makes sense, right? Like, it doesn't matter too much if I... Oh, it's turn 4, I see. It doesn't matter too much if I'm losing 7 or 8 shield per round right now. I don't think, anyway. We'll go Might up here. But the timing stuff is more important for, like, if you remember, there was an ability that one of our leaders had, one of the leader paths had, which was next attack deals 2x damage. And so what you would want to do is make sure that you're giving your character Might right before the double damage hit goes. Apply 75 shield, draw a card, create a clone of an ally, deal 75 damage, apply 100 shield. We can go chainmail. The game gives you a ton of card draw and everything's really expensive, so I find energy to be a little better. So instead of, we can either upgrade one of our Draugrs to level 1, so this gives them a tribe, either, hey, Relentless, we're already Relentless. Apply 75 shield to one random ally, or the first time a unit dies in battle, gain an energy, draw a card, or we can draft a new unit, and we get to look at them both for free, which is nice. Sentinels gain 10 shield and 10 might every 2 cards drawn. Okay. Creates a clone of itself. Or what? 100 mana, 8 mana per second. It's like, what, 12 seconds? So this will happen on turn 2. Every time you play a spell card, all units gain 10 mana. This guy's a ranged unit, I bet. Oh, so is the Gargoyle, actually. Gives all allies 10 mana, so this is like a mana funnel for the rest of your team. Swamp units gain 20 shield whenever a unit receives a unique ailment. Deals 10 damage each second to the target. Heals that amount of damage for the rest of the battle. Oh. Hey, that's kind of busted. You just keep stacking up saps. I'm gonna try the Dahlia Dryad here, and we can cut out our injured boy and put in the Dryad. So whenever a unit receives a unique ailment, all swamp units get 20 shield. Oh, I picked up a relic too. What does this do? Start of each battle. 50% chance to snare enemies at the start of every fight. So this Dryad is gonna be pretty resilient, is what I'm taking. 550 health, and also scales up a leech effect over the course of the fight. And rooted units can't move, so I can just like... This boss can't move, or the elite can't move, so I can just kind of ignore him for a little bit. He is going to end up coming up behind, because what's going to happen here is I'm going to wrap around. And so he's going to come up behind, and he's probably going to hit my Draugr, which I don't love. I'm actually just going to let the fight go here. Are you hitting? Wait, you're hitting my Draugr? What the hell? That's weird. Well, I'll shield him up then, I suppose. I'll just play Might. The root wears off. Now my hero is... But that was like a full free turn, more or less. My hero's in a little bit of trouble, but... That's alright. I feel like a lot of times I get kind of lost here. The best thing to do is probably just half health the boss. I can't imagine it being anything else. Because yeah, my guy's gonna cast a spell and get a bunch of shield. Why did we re-aggro? That's interesting. Wonder what caused that. Oh wow, I got 80 shield off of that because all of these units got a unique fracture. Oh, so what it means by unique is you don't get 20 per fracture, it's 20. So you don't get 60 for 3 fracture, you get 20 for 3 fracture. I get it. That makes sense. I'll just keep clobbering the boss, and you're gonna step back, and so we can re-aggro. Oh yeah, and he went around for the boss. Good. We'll just tunnel the boss here, or the elite, I should say. He's not quite a boss. Yeah, this Dryad seems like an absolute menace. Oh, I had intervention in hand. I didn't even read. Oh well. I win anyway. But I do have to kill everything out. On bosses, I will... I'll win if I kill the boss. I don't have to kill everything. But on elites, you do have to kill everything. I'm not going to care too much about min-maxing shield, like I said. Pretty good, though. The setup's not too bad here. You're kind of beefy. I want to... I guess I could just bloodshot. And that's fine. I'm gonna move my hero back and let the Dryad tank, ideally. Because you heal at the end of the fight anyway. But it's not a full heal, it's a percentage heal. So we want to let the Dryad... We want to diffuse the damage, is what I should say. Pretty good. I'd love to play a little bit... Like, I'm gonna replace this Draugr with something. I'd love to play something like... Honestly, that guy that generated a bunch of mana sounds really cool in this setup. For 6 seconds, your attacks will knock the target away and stun for 1 second. Apply 5 haste. Apply 150 shield and taunt to all enemies. Let's try... We could go for a haste idea, maybe. Seems cool. Allows you to skip rooms on the map. Oh, so if I want to, I can just jump over one of the rooms I have to walk to. That's cool. What the hell is this? Oh, he's an assassin. So if I'm not in range of him at the start of the fight, he's going to jump over to whoever is furthest away from him. Honestly, that's fine. I can just kind of set a trap here. Because he's going to jump over to here, and then my units will all just turn and kill him. Soon. Yeah. This is a ranged unit, though. I did not realize. This is what happens when you don't read. Reading the enemy card text actually lets you know what they do. Range is 5. I think he's gonna walk out of range and then retarget onto my hero. Draw last. No, I was right. Yeah, we're cruising here. We're pretty strong. But like I said, at the start of the fight, or at the start of the run, I got intervention, and intervention is ridiculous. I want to see. So you're getting an extra attack. It's an extra attack every 2 seconds because you're gaining 5 haste, which is 0.5 attacks per second. That seems like it's right. Apply 30 might. Repeat for every card with the word might in your deck. Apply 150 shield. For 4 seconds, all damage dealt is converted to shield. That's kind of cool. It's all very expensive, as I've said, but I think it's fine. There's a case to be made for just playing to slam intervention as fast as possible, though. I don't necessarily think it's wrong. We'll let the boss here come hit our Dryad. Boss is kind of scary, I do think. Plus 10, 13, 11, so you're doing 9. I guess the best character is my hero, Inquisitor, to take the haste. And these guys are going to be annoying. What I'm going to do is I'm going to position back, and we're going to shield our hero. So we want the bears to target our hero, and then the boss targets on here, because the boss applies a debuff to whoever he's attacking when he takes his turn. I guess I should say when he makes his skill. But also the boss is now dead. So, so long, brother. That card is kind of wicked. Just, oops, by the way, you're dead now. I'm gonna move my hero back on this turn. I do kind of wonder if this game would feel better or worse to me if you didn't have the free movement abilities, I should say. I think it would be more interesting to me if I had to pay a card to move around, but because the fights are so long, I think the game would just not make sense if that were true. It'd have to be like, do you remember Fights in Tight Spaces? That game gave you a free movement card every turn. That would be an interesting way to handle this. Break, apply 6 fracture for 5 seconds, deal 100 damage, put a copy of this card on top of your draw pile. Apply taunt for 4 seconds. If the target is an enemy, apply 3 fracture for 4 seconds. I think I skip. I don't really want any of those. What does this do? The end of each turn deals your remaining energy multiplied by 75 as damage to all enemies. Huh. Interesting. Come across a hidden altar, a beheaded idol in the figure of a forgotten ancient deity lying in the center. Hunger emanates from the worship-starved statue yearning for devotion. The price of ancient worship is never cheap. Give your worship, choose a negative effect. Hell yeah. Choose the mark of emptiness. That's good. Remove a random card from your deck. Oh, I could remove a good card. Remove Spike Call, that's fine. Giving me all allies in your party gain 200 shield. I think this is a one-off thing. Sorry, I didn't read the rest of the lore. We're gonna upgrade. Actually, before I upgrade, I should look at the draft. Oh, Dahlia Dryad, but she's of the Fiend Alliance. Dark Preacher removes 10 mana from all enemies. Okay. Whenever an ally gains shield, applies 50 shield to all allies. Seems good. 11, so he goes every like 9 seconds roughly. Gains lifesteal for 10 seconds. And what is this? Every you play an ailment card, all units in your party gain 10 mana. Huh. I like the red Minos. I think that sounds pretty good. So we can play this. Now we get 2 Relentless Alliance, which means that we get 20 might whenever an ally gains shield instead of 10. And that's going to give our Dryad a lot of might when I play the apply ailment to all enemies card. And a large vat of bubbling toxic green acid, its fumes making you tear up. Scraps of paper briefly rise to the surface only to dissolve completely. What is decay? Deals the amount. Okay, so it'll be I remove a card, but all of my allies get a 20 damage dot, which ticks down by 1. But on the last area, I got the 200 shield, so I can do this. I think Dagger Throw is a pretty safe remove. Deal 75 damage for 1. It's pretty awful. Yeah. Ouch. This game, it does have a few. It is a little bit of a jokester at times. Hit him with the youch and things like that. There is one of the paths, or one of the abilities in this game is the Tom and Jerry, where Jerry is the cheese. I have seen that one. And there is an ability in this game called Yas Queen Slay for one of the bosses. So they have fun here. Some of it's funny because it just comes out of nowhere. It's like, oh, weakling and the bodyguard, and then all of a sudden it's Yas Queen Slay. You're ranged. I should have the Dryad tanking for me. Yeah, you can see the plague ticking down and the spider's trapped. All of this is fine and standard. I assume the spider does not poison. It applies 3 slow, 1 fracture. Okay, so I do less damage and take more damage. And we give 60 might there for that. I think I'll armor break here. That looks fine. Not too bad. And yeah, we also, I assume the sap is a debuff as well, so you're getting shield off of that. It's a pretty cool build. I think a lot of what this game will live or die on for me is if you get to make cool builds, or if the builds are samey. So far it's kind of neat, but I think the biggest problem is that it's hard to tell what's going on in a run. And that's where I'm at with the game. But once you get used to it, I think it'll be pretty fun. It's just a high barrier to entry, which is often the case in games like this. Apply 150 might and splash, so your attacks will hit all enemies for half damage. Apply 50 shield to all allies. Don't really care for this. I'm gonna skip. Makes all enchants 20% more effective. That's cool. Keep an eye out for any enchants now. Allies take 25% less collision damage, enemies take 25% more collision damage. At the start of the battle, adds a random slide card with 0 cost and deplete to your hand. Oh, that's sweet. So you start the game usually with Rook Slide, but I don't have it because it got removed at the start and transformed into one of the 2 cards. But there is movement for the enemies, which lets you do some cool stuff. I'm gonna upgrade over heal here, and we're gonna upgrade spiked armor. 115 and 50 spikes is pretty solid. And Bloodshot, I guess an extra second of it is pretty good. But Transfusion seems a little better, maybe. 8 haste for 6 seconds. I'm gonna go Transfusion. 6 seconds is good. This card seems strong. And I'll probably wrap it up here. I don't really want to do a full run in the video, but because a full run, it's 3 acts, so a full run is probably about an hour to an hour and a half when you're learning the game. So we'll probably call it after this. Boss fight. We got Astaroth. Impervious units have 50% ailment resistance. Gains 4 damage, gains splash, and 4 haste for 3 seconds. Ooh, I don't like that. So there are these cards. We have Queen Slide here. Push a unit in any direction. There's collision damage, which you can see. He will take 140 and will take 600 if I let him collide. I think it's based on health. But it lets you do things like this, so I can pull this guy in, and then because I haven't played yet, I can reposition and just kill him before any enemies can reach me. Especially since the boss is trapped here. I can also just intervene. It's always going to be right to put full damage out of intervention here and just half health the boss, I think. Because I could also have put the boss in this corner and just gathered myself around him. Might have been a little better. Where are you hitting? You're hitting the Minotaur? Really? Weird. My hero is going to get so much shield when he when he casts here. So we'll shield our Minotaur and we'll go... I think I'll give my hero the haste. It seems the most correct. Because my hero's about to put up, 180 shield, I'm gonna wait. Because it's just so much shield that would get wasted. Now it paused here 1.1 seconds off because I haven't used my last energy. That's the effect of this automatically pause. We'll just play Shredder. I'm mostly going to sit here and wait for my next intervention. It's a weird run to show you the game off of because I high rolled Bludgeon in Act 1 basically, so I just kind of stomped through this. But I think the game is still, I think you get a good enough feel for it. The game's cool. I'm wrapping up here in my mind because it's about time to call it a day. The game is fun, is my feeling. It's a cool little idea. Impossible, by the way. Get torched, idiot. Ah, we get a wing. So this is like, I think these are like key pieces basically, where you get one for each boss, which leads me to believe that there are 2 bosses per act. The first of all sins. Also, only 6 wings. 7 sins? Curious. Yeah, we'll get a card for this. Purgatory? 125 damage to all allies, gain 3 energy, discard your cards and draw a new hand. Doubles current might. Apply bound. When one bound unit receives damage, all other bound units receive the same amount of damage. That's cool. It's an area effect as well. And then you get a boss relic. You always get these 3 options of +1 energy, +1 party slot, or +1 card and turn cooldown reduction. I'm a pretty big energy believer. And yeah, on to the second circle. I'm going to wrap up here. This is the gist of it though. You'll do this 2 more times and then you'll win. And I believe, I'm just taking a guess because I've played a lot of games like this, I would bet that there's a secret final boss because, you know, Heart, Slay the Spire, Last Divinity, there's always a secret final boss. You just gotta work towards it, you know? Overall, this game's fun. I think it's good. It's a cool little fusion of the Slay the Spire shell, is how I would call it, because it's the same sort of map generation and deck building where you're picking up a bunch of cards and building out a deck that's competent, I suppose. It's that sort of idea mixed with the Autobattler style instead of just playing cards on enemies, which is fun. It's a fresh take, and I think it's different enough to be worth playing. That's my official take. I like it. I'm probably gonna play a bit of it on stream for a while just because it's something to do, and I've been looking for something fun, and I'm enjoying it. So for now, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave me a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good one.